Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DELCO Cross Country Podcast. This is Kevin Key with you as always, breaking down everything Delaware County cross country. And I know what you're thinking. It's Kev, what took you so long? Last Sunday, you released two podcasts. You released an InterAc preview and a Central League preview. Both meets were on Tuesday. And then you went and you were like, hey, give me an all Delco watch, a top 10 athletes, a top 5 teams, a power ranking, which will not be released this week as of right now. That will likely be released again next week. Kind of like a little preview for state championship episode, giving you that top 10 athlete, top 5 team in my rankings when it comes to Delco cross country in general. And we got big meets coming up. You got District 1 championships. You got District 12 championships. You have the Pennsylvania Independent School State Championships next week. A lot going on in Delaware County cross country. And once again, I'm sorry, I have no excuse for the Central League and the InterAc championships not being released sooner, other than really a lack of time on my end. So trying to get better on that, trying to release these sooner. But with this podcast comes a quick overture of the Central League championships, InterAc championships, Philadelphia Catholic League championships. If I can get there, the Bicentennial championships would be unscripted completely, as I just looked up those results pretty quickly on my end. I know you're hearing a lot of background noise. I apologize for that ahead of time. A lot going on as I record this podcast right now on Sunday night. But let's get to it. Let's get to the Central League championships. And as I stated on the preview last week, it was all going to be Pencrest boys. It was going to be their race to lose on the boys' end. While you know you have the Mazzeo brothers or the Mazzeo brothers from Lower Merion, who went 1-2, as I thought they pretty much could in that one. The depth for Lower Merion just wasn't there, and really hasn't been all year. I know they were preseason ranked in the state. However, their depth just isn't there for them other than the top two Mazzeo brothers. But the depth showed for those Delco teams. Pencrest, they were led by Edemias Mulugeta, who finished 3rd overall, and Rowan Carr, who finished 4th overall. So they went 3-4. But it's not the front depth that's important here. As you saw with Lower Merion, the front depth doesn't matter as much when they go 1-2. It's kind of where that 3, 4, and 5 are going to fall. The same thing is going to happen this week at district championships. It's going to depend on where 3, 4, and 5 fall. In reality, every place is going to matter at District 1 championships in general. So let's look at where 3, 4, and 5 fell. Nick Fonte, he finished at the important place of 9th for Pencrest. He was just ahead of Ridley's number 3, Paul Alua. The race was going to be where Andrew Haish and Sean Holst Rightly fell in this one. And they fell they ran pretty fast. I mean, Andrew Haish, he was 16th overall. Sean Holst Rightly, he was 19th overall. With Haverford and Ridley really putting up a strong fight behind a powerful 5 out of Pencrest. And you look at Pencrest, they were able to put 5 guys in the top 20 at a Central League Championships. In reality, 5 guys in the top 19. Just a great race for them, but it was the team from Haverford. They were to pack run their numbers 2 through 4 runners. That was Carlo Bianvieri, Sean Lawson, Logan Eagles. So they were able to pack run those guys together. So Carlo Bianvieri was their second runner. Sean Lawson was their third. Logan Eagles was their fourth. They went 13, 14, and 15 with Aiden Chevrolet, their 5th man, going 20th overall, just behind Sean Holst Rightly. Like I said, that number 5 spot for Holst Rightly was very important in this one. Haverford, they were led by Teddy Foster. He went 7th overall, but it wasn't enough to top the Delco and Central League champions in Pencrest. As stated prior, I said I would have loved to see a top Pencrest versus a top Haverford versus a top Episcopal. While we kind of saw a preview of that at Paul Short, without one of their guys in Haverford, who I believe was Sean Lawson. Without Sean Lawson in Haverford at Paul Short a few weeks ago, we didn't get that. It would have been great to have that at Delco Championships. Would have been a heck of a race. We will not see that this season with all 3 of these teams combined, because Episcopal Academy is in the InterAc and they will be racing at the PA Independent School Championships. we might never see this race unless we see it randomly at maybe like a Nike regional meet. But Pencrest, Haverford, and Episcopal put up strong performances all year. Would have been nice to see them together, especially now that Ridley, another team that's in there, is pretty much back to full force. They were third overall at Central League Championships. They put up strong races out of their top three, with Jackson Kane continuing his stellar senior year, going fifth overall. You got Joey Lancey, who continues to get better, get healthier, which is the biggest thing, staying patient throughout this season, persevering. He went eighth. And the prior mentioned Paul Lua, he went 10th overall. If you were just looking at the top 10 of this race, and you were like, the top 10, clearly this race is going to be Lower Merion, who had 2 of the top 10, Pencrest, who had 3 of the top 10, and Ridley, who had 3 of the top 10. You don't really know the scoring of cross country as much because you need that top 5 runners all together. This is why you go scoring 1 to 5, even up to 1 to 7. Very important. In reality, Joseph Garzio of Radnor and Teddy Foster of Haverford, they were their lone athletes from their team in the top 10, but they put up strong performances. Garzio was 6th overall, and I've already said Foster, he led Haverford at 7th overall. If you're looking at this meet, you're looking at all Central selections. First team, all Central go 1 to 7. So let's look at those first team athletes in the Central League. That is DELCO only. I'm not including your non-DELCO guys. Sorry, Lower Merion, you're not DELCO. Sorry, Conestoga, you're not DELCO. All right, I'm going to focus in on my DELCO 1 through 7. Third place overall was Edemias Mulugeta. 4th, Rowan Carr. 5th, Jackson Kane. 6th, Joseph Garzio. And coming in at 7th with that coveted first team, all Central League team, is Teddy Foster from Haverford. Second team is ranked from 8th through 14th. Congratulations, Joey Lancey of Ridley. Nick Fonte of Pencrest, who finished 9th. Paul Lua of Ridley going 10th. Chris Carty said it earlier on this season. Keep an eye out for this kid. He went 11th at Central League Championships. Put up another great race for him. So we're looking at the second team here. Chris Carty was 11th. Carlo Bienviri from Haverford was 13th, and Sean Lawson from Haverford was 14th. Now you're looking at honorable mention. You're going 15 to 21. At 15th, that was Logan Eagles of Haverford. 16th was Andrew Haish of Pencrest. 17th was a Conestoga kid. Like I said, he's not DELCO. 18th was Julian Bothma from Marple Newtown. 19th, Sean Holst-Rightly from Pencrest. 20th was Aiden Chevrolet. Then you have that kid from Lower Merion. 21st, once again, not DELCO, so I'm not really going to put my focus in on there. But congratulations to the All Central League performers in that one. On the girls' end, it was going to take a lot to beat the team from Haverford. I've been over this. Haverford was heavy favored. Conestoga, I said, could have put up a race, but Haverford was the heavy favorite in this one. Olivia Cieslak, she pulled off a slim victory over non-DELCO Conestoga's Alexa Tubbs, but it was Haverford's depth that really pulled through. Karen McGinn, she was 3rd overall, running 30 seconds faster than she did at DELCO Championships. Then it came down to the grit of Haverford's 3 through 5, and man, you could say the grit was there for 3 through 7. Senior Micah Haskins was definitely one of the people who I was most impressed with. She must have been listening when I did not put her in the top 10 athletes in Delaware County a week ago. She's like, Kevin, what do you know? She finished 6th overall, dominated with a 1937. Then you had Ryan Dankinus. She went 9th overall, giving Haverford a dominating 4 of 9. 4 of the top 9 were all Haverford. That's insane. Then you look at it, and then you have Evelyn Awad, 13th overall, Prue Friend, 17th, Anastasia Harmon, 19th. That's all 7 athletes from Haverford into All Central League. It's crazy just to see this depth in general. On the girls' end, Radnor was that next ranked team in this race. They went 3rd overall. They continue to run well, being led by Emma Hyde, who I will not be surprised if she makes state championships and does something special there. She was 4th overall. Radnor also had Coco Connor at 20th and Mia Richter at 21st. to go into those all Central League rankings. Notable missing athlete from this one to me was CeCe Kane. Did not see her name listed from Ridley. Hope that she is okay going into district championships. Once again, all Central League 1 through 7 first team, 8 through 14 second team, 15 through 21 is honorable mention. I want to thank Coach Laura Clinton for that information from Haverford. Very important. I do not know the All InterAc team. I do know the All Catholic team, however. Do not know the All Bal team. So let me go into this. Once again, Delco only. Sorry, Conestoga. Sorry, Lower Merion. You're not Delco. Get out of here. I'm only focused on my Delco peeps. I'm biased. That's why, right. I'm biased towards Delco at this point. So number 1 overall was Olivia Cieslak from Haverford. Number 3 was Cameron McGeehan from Haverford. Number 4 was Emma Hyde from Radnor. Number 5 was a non-Delco girl. Number 6 was Micah Haskins from Haverford. And that will round out your top first team All Central League rankings that are Delaware County people. Then you had Cassie Jones, who led off. Freshman Cassie Jones broke out in this one, 1947. Incredible race out of Cassidy. Once again, she must have been listening to the top rankings as well. Probably ticked off as me, like everybody else probably is at that ranking last week. 8 through 14, Cassidy Jones is the one leading off from Pencrest. Then it was Ryan Dakinis at 9th. Some non-Delco girl in 10th. Sophia Curtis from Springfield was 11th. Good to see her back into the rankings. Some non-Delco girl 12th. Evelyn Awad, she was 13th. And Mara Carey continues her stellar sophomore season. She was 14th to earn second team All Central League honors. Her teammate Sophie Jackson, she leads it off with the third team honors. She was 15th. Marple Newtown senior Lizzie Getz, she was 16th overall at 2047. You had Prue Fryn at 17th from Haverford. Some non-Delco girl at 18th. Anastasia Harmon from Haverford at 19th, Coco Connor at 20th, Mia Richter at 21st. So congratulations to those teams. I'm also noticing, I just realized it, I didn't say another name in this one. Another notable missing name would be Garnet Valley's number 1. So Avery Lustgarden was missing from the rankings at Central League Championships as well. That is also interesting to see. I'm missing a few athletes. I'm normally saying their names within the top 5 to 10, and I'm not seeing their names within the rankings at all in this one. So just keeping my eyes open when it comes to District 1 championships this upcoming week, actually. Hopefully they get healthy and they are okay going into it. Going in InterAcs right now, and I'm looking at it. InterAcs was always going to be Episcopal. Was always going to have them written all over it. Episcopal had a tough challenge in the team from Penn Charter, who were led by overall champion non-Delco person TJ Zwall. EA answered with 5 athletes in the top 10. They were led by Curtis Connor in this one and Eli Engelman. They went 3rd and 4th. John Ricketts then split the 2 to 3 runners from Penn Charter. He went 6th. Caleb Young was 9th. And last week's standout, Ethan Zhao, he rounded out at 10, rounding out the top 10 for Episcopal, giving them yet an ultimate victory at InterAc Championships. 5 of top 10 is insane at that type of a meet. Next up for them are the PA Independent State Championships at Belmont Plateau this upcoming weekend. On the girls' end, it was dominated by Penn Charter. They're non-Delco people, so let's be honest. The only person I'm actually interested right now would be the overall champion. That was 8th grader Mackenzie Skelly. Giving her a shout out because I could tell she's a follower of the Instagram page that's at DELCO XC Pod. I hope she's a proud listener of this podcast as well, although she's non-Delco. So I'm going to focus on my Delco peeps. Kendra Williamson, she put up an impressive 18:33 on one of the hardest courses in the state of Pennsylvania, Belmont Plateau, finishing 2nd overall. The team race was basically down to who's going to finish 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And look at that. All 3 of them were Delco teams. The tremendous trio from Agnes Irwin, I called them the magical trio at one point. That's Emma Watson, Avery Brennan, and Sophia Casey. They were able to put all 3 of them in front of Notre Dame's top athletes. The problem is that Notre Dame took the next 4 spots. So Notre Dame went 10, 11, 12, 13. Agnes Irwin went 7, 8, and 9. So if you're looking at this, you had Kara Sweeney at 10th, Mary Rosano at 11th, Carson Tierney at 12th, and Alexandra Wolf at 13th, which really did the damage. Notre Dame closed it out with Chloe Calvert. She went 23rd overall, just ahead of Agnes Irwin's fourth runner and Wynn Hastings. Episcopal was able to do some misplacing of teams within that top 20. They had freshman Hannah Todd going 15th, Joy Ying going 18th, Anna Bradford going 19th, and they closed out with Tatum Schmedlin at 28th. But it was Amanda Yoakum at 32nd that was able to help Agnes Irwin squeeze out our third place finish over Episcopal Academy just only by a couple points. So it was really important for Amanda Yoakum to really close that out. Like I said, next up for them is Independent State Championships this weekend at Belmont Plateau. Look at the Philadelphia Catholic League Championships. This was always me just keeping an eye out for the boys of Bonner, while team victories were basically dominant from LaSalle and a close finish from Nazareth Academy, who won their second straight Catholic League Championship in cross country. Both teams won in 2023. LaSalle's just got this dynasty going for years at this point. The race I was watching was from Bonner. The Friars were able to go 5th overall without one of their top athletes, without their number 5 guy. They were able to go 5th overall, and I actually think it was their number 3 guy missing in this one, in Muhammad. But they were able to place Donnie Cave at 9th and Josh Knox Wagner at 14th. That earned them first team All-Catholic the hard way. That's in the championship meet. Kenyatta Johnson, he was 28th, and Daniel Stevens was 34th. They were able to earn third team All-Catholic honors themselves. Their next up is District 12 AA Championships this Thursday. Bonner has a chance of doing something they haven't done in a few years now. I believe since 2017, which is when I was coaching over there. And that would be go to state championships as a team on the boys' end. They have a chance to do it for the first time since 2017. So I'll be on the lookout for that race this upcoming Thursday. We're going to try to get some previews out for districts and independent state championships this week. I just want to go quick recap of BAL. There wasn't much that stuck out to me other than Delco Christian. They finished second overall to Faith Christian Academy. Delco Christian scored 62 points in this one. They were led by a freshman, Addie Atkins, who went 22-47. Then they had Ella Clipston, who went 15th. Ava Kelly, who went 16th. Alexa Confino, who went 17th. And then they rounded out with Julia Zhu, who went 21. And Alexa apparently is thinking I'm talking to her. So that's exciting. I'm sure that just excited everybody when I pulled that one out. So, yeah, that's what I saw at the BAL Championships from basically the Delco teams that were competing there. On the boys' end, it was Delco Christian who finished third overall. They were led with 15th and 16th place in that race in Hugh Nicholson and Grant Most. They had Kellen Reed at 18th, Sam D'Antonio at 20th, and Caden Shute. He was 23rd overall at the race over in Bristol, the Tyler State Park 5K. Do want to give a shout out though. Jim Jensen, Dan Nelson, Mike Mahoney, you guys do a tremendous job timing these races. Results.run.tf. I was able to watch all weekend. I was able to watch all week at InterAc's InterAc's was Lex Mercado, so I'll give him a shout out as well. At Central League Championships, at Catholic League Championships, I was able to watch those races in action, following those live results. So Nelson, Mahoney, Jensen, Mercado, great job this week, making sure everything's covered up. I know there are a few meets that I missed out on covering a championship-wise, so I apologize for that because I do not actually have results for some of these meets. Like I know Penwood had such a great race this week, but I know I'm also missing those results because they're not up on mile split. It looks like Penwood won the Del Val Championship. Wow, just by looking at their Instagram account. 1, 2, 3, 4 sweep. Medals everywhere for Penwood cross country. Congratulations on the Del Val Championship. I think that was on the it might have been on the boys and girls end. I am not positive. I know it's definitely the boys end. But great races out of Penwood. I wish I can get those results. I do not have them to give you guys the proper shout outs you deserve. But great job, great week of Delco Cross Country. I'm going to be out of here, so make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter at DELCO XC Pod. Give me a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you find podcasts. Leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm. Do it for the algorithm. Do it for Delco. You saw I wasn't going to follow those teams from the Conestogas and the Lower Marions and the Penn Charters. That's great. You guys are great. You're not Delco, though. We got something special in Delaware County. These teams are putting it out every single day. Keep fighting every single day. Keep getting up those hills. Good luck at districts this week. Hopefully I'm able to break it down prior for you. Get those podcasts out at one point, depending on my time schedule. But good luck this week at District 12, District 1, Independent State Championships, wherever you're racing. Best of luck to the Delco teams and nobody else. And, some people might not like us and we don't care. This is Kevin Key, and I am signing off.